What has God continued to show us in this world? He has shown us since the beginning of time when Adam and Eve were in the garden. And what happened when Eve was caught off guard and was unprepared? Her husband was not prepared. And what happened? They sinned against God. They were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. And death came about. So this is something that we can take from this situation about ungodly teenage boys. And in the midst of this ungodliness would be unprepared girls. We're going to talk about part 2 of a 3-part lesson on ungodliness. And once girls continue to be ungodly and boys are not seeing godliness in girls, it would lead to more ungodliness. The psalmist wrote in chapter 128 that blessed are those who fear the Lord and walk in obedience. See, we're not walking in obedience. We're walking in disobedience. We're walking in distrust. We're walking in disbelief for being unprepared. And boys need to see that girls are prepared. They're godly. They're being raised properly. But boys also need to have a spiritual foundation in their homes so they can become godly men one day and know how to treat girls and women of society and be spiritually productive in the Lord. Do you have a teenage son right now that is not godly? He has gone wayward in life and he needs spiritual guidance. It is time to look at your life first and foremost and to make sure that you are living a strong Christian life, anchored in the Lord, trusting the Lord all the way, and raise your son that way. See, it's more than what the world looks at. They try to tell members in society that they're just being teenage boys. They just need to let this wildness get out of them, and they'll change when they get later. They won't change. They won't change unless they're living for the Lord and they're brought up in the Lord and they know the Lord and they follow the Lord. Ungodliness will lead to a continual path of ungodliness. Unprepared girls will lead to more and more young men or teenage boys to remain not in God. The time is right now to turn a tide in your life. And if you have a teenage son or if you are a teenage boy and you're thinking about your life and you're not living for Jesus Christ, you're not going to church, your parents are not going to church, and you are in this world and you're not thinking about everlasting life, it is time that you must consider and think about everlasting life and look to the Lord, trusting in him and learn from him and live on the spiritual path that will lead to everlasting life. Without the Lord, you will remain lost in your life and you will never find your way. The time is right now to change this trajectory in your life. And if you know someone that has a ungodly teenage boy, this lesson is for him. It is for his family to look deeply into their hearts, their minds, and their souls, and their spirits, that they need the Lord to raise their teenage boy. And they need the Lord for their souls to be pleasing for the Lord on the day of judgment. The time is always in this present moment to turn from evilness and be teenage boys that are righteous young men, righteous young adults, righteous teenage boys that will be righteous, wise men that only comes through Jesus Christ. The time is always in this present moment to change before it's too late. Don't leave a life behind of sin, of death. Lead and have a life that is rooted in Jesus Christ for eternity.